What if everything we believe about the right way to do things is just a temporary stop on the train of time? What do you do when you get a headache? If you consult TikTok or Dr. Google, you can see that the latest way to cure a migraine is to go to your doctor and ask them to carefully carve a hole in your skull with a stone tool to let out the bad blood. Seriously, but only if you lived in the 16th century. It's called trepanning, and I wouldn't recommend it. But the thing is, back then, it was definitely a legitimate headache treatment. Well, that's what the experts of the time believed. Now think about the way we treat cancer. Today we rely on chemotherapy, radiation, targeted therapies, and immunotherapy. These treatments are considered state of the art. But only a few decades ago, doctors used radium, a chemical element that is millions of times more radioactive than uranium, believing it would burn away cancer. In fact, one of the chemotherapy agents still used today was derived from mustard gas used in World War I. And these treatments were hailed as breakthroughs, much like our current methods are today. But future generations might look at our medical practices and see them as crude and imprecise. I mean, what if everything we believed about the right way to do things is just that temporary stop on the train of time? Enter the idea of pessimistic meta-induction. The pessimistic meta-induction concept makes us question our beliefs. It argues that just as past beliefs considered ultimate truths have been thrown away, our current beliefs, whether in medicine, morality, or science, are also likely to be thrown away too. Just as doctors once prescribed smoking to calm the nerves, we might be advocating things today that future generations will find laughable or even morally abhorrent. Not that long ago, common practices we now find horrifying were defended by society's brightest minds. Slavery in the United States was justified as natural. As recently as the 1970s, some European countries denied women the right to vote, claiming they were intellectually inferior. George Washington's acute laryngitis was treated with bloodletting and a concoction of dried beetles. I mean, these ideas weren't just accepted, they were morally and scientifically defended. Today, we look at them with disbelief. But pessimistic meta-induction warns us, future generations may view us with the same mix of disbelief and condemnation. They might question our stance on economic inequality, medical treatment, animal rights, or environmental destruction, asking why we didn't see the moral atrocities unfolding before us. Just as we can't fathom how past societies justified slavery or trepanning, future generations might find our actions just as unfathomable. Perhaps today's moral and scientific heroes are another version of doctors prescribing leeches, well-intentioned, but misguided based on the knowledge available to them at the time. I mean, today medicine and morality feel like they're on solid ground. We've got antibiotics, vaccines, advanced surgery, and an ever-increasing understanding of human rights. But what if this is just a snapshot of progress? A moment in the middle of a much longer film that shows our advancements as temporary blips, soon to be revised or even wholly rejected. So where does this leave us? The pessimistic meta-induction doesn't necessarily mean that all moral and scientific progress is an illusion or that we're doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past. Nor does it mean we should hark back to a so-called better time or view progress as inherently flawed. In fact, what it highlights is that the true strength and appeal of progress and science lie in their ability to be constantly revised and updated, evolving our understanding and improving our practice over time. It also reminds us to be cautious in our certainty. It urges us to keep an open mind, to question, to remain humble. It reminds us that what we see as progress is often just a step in a longer journey, and there's always more to learn. Perhaps the best thing we can do is to approach our convictions with a sense of curiosity rather than dogma, to hold our beliefs firmly but lightly, ready to revise them in the face of new evidence or deeper understanding. Because if history tells us anything, it's that certainty is fleeting and that real progress might just be in admitting that we don't have all the answers.